Hey everyone, hope you're having a great weekend. We are going to do an activity of we do, you do. So basically the front page that you have is going to be our we do section. We're going to do that together. And then the second page is going to be the you do. All right. Now, the first thing that you need to notice is, or remember, is you need to remember your area formulas. And so just make sure that you know these. The only one that's probably brand new to you is the semicircle. And basically, that's a circle, and it's only half a circle, so we divide that by 2. The area for that's pi times radius squared divided by 2. So anyway, you might want to pause the video and write these down. And then turn your sheet back over. Okie dokie. So basically we're doing the area of compound shapes. You'll hear me call it composite figures as well. And all that means is it's more than one shape or figure put together, and we're finding the area of all of it. Okay, so we're going to be breaking up a picture into a few parts of shapes that we recognize. So for this number 1, if I put an imaginary line here, you can see that what we have is we have a triangle. And we have a square. Okay, so we've got a triangle. And we're going to add that to the area for the square. Okay, so the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. I always just do this. Now the base of my triangle is 3 plus 3, and then the dotted line is 8. So it's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is going to be the base. The height of my triangle is represented here. It's 12. So this is the formula for the area of a triangle. Now we're going to add that to the area for the square, which is length times width. So that's 8 times 8. Okay, now feel free to use your calculator if you feel like you need to. 14 times 12, this is the same thing as divided by 2, is going to be 84. 8 times 8 is 64. And when we add that together, we get 148 feet squared. And we're going to do units of squared, feet squared, because that's area. And that's how you do a compound shape. Okay, now on the you do sheet, if you would go to number 3 and work this out on your own. Just pause the video. All right, number 2. We'll do 2 and 3 together. 2 and 3 are about the same thing. Basically, we could either put an imaginary line there and make 2 rectangles, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an imaginary line here and make a rectangle and a square. All right, so we're going to do the area of the rectangle. We're going to add that to the area of the square. So the area for the rectangle is going to be 9 times 8. For the square, it's going to be 6 times 6. 9 times 8 is 72. 6 times 6 is 36. And we get 108. And again, that's in units of squares, so that's going to be centimeters squared for this composite area. Okay. Now, if you want to practice, pause the video and do this one, and then when you resume, you can see if you got it right. Okay, so we have a square and a rectangle again. The area of the square would be 60 times 60. The area for the rectangle would be 100 times 60. Feel free to use your calculators. 60 times 60 is 3,600. 100 times 60 is 6,000. And that's going to give me 9,600. And that's going to be in centimeters squared. All right. Now, if you'll flip over to the you-do side, do number 6. Pause the video and then come back. Okay, back to the we do. Number 4. Okay, just a bit more challenging because number 4 actually has a semicircle in it and a rectangle. So we have a semicircle that's going to be added to a rectangle. Okay. Formula for the semicircle is pi, which is 3.14, times the radius, and the radius is 8, squared, and then because it's only a half a circle, we're going to divide by 2. Now we need to add the area of our rectangle, which is 21 times 28. All right. And please put this in the calculator and make sure that you can get the right answer. Okay, so we've got 3.14 times 8 squared. Then we're going to divide that by 2. So we get 100.48. And then we're going to multiply 21 times 28. And we get 588. We add those together and we get 688, and you could say 0.48 or 0.5, and that's going to be in units of inches squared. All right. Now if you flip over to the you-do side, you can do number 7. Pause the video. All right. Number 5. Okay, number 5, I'm going to put me a little imaginary line right down through here. And I have a rectangle and a triangle. So we have a rectangle that we're going to add to a triangle. So the rectangle would be 3 times 4. Triangle is 1/2. The base, and the triangle's turned sideways, so if we turned it straight up and down, this would be the base, and that's 3. And the height is 2. So base of 3, height of 2. So 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. So that gives us a total area of 15, and the units are going to be yards squared. All right. On the you-do side, you can do number 8. Pause the video. All right. Number 6. It's a funky looking little thing. We have a triangle. And we have a semicircle. Okay. So we're going to use the area for a triangle We're going to add that to the semicircle. Okay, the triangle is 1/2 base times height. Now, height is pretty easy. The height's 9. The base can be tricky. Now, this is why the base can be tricky. This base, or this dotted line, is actually the diameter of this circle. It's the diameter. Well, we know the radius of this circle is 6, and the diameter would be twice that, so the diameter would be 12. So this dotted line is 12. Now, semicircle. Pi times the radius squared, and because it's a semicircle, we're going to divide that by 2. All right, so we've got 12 times 9. We're going to divide that by 2, and that's going to give me 54. Now we're going to do 3.14 times 6 squared divided by 2. And by the way, here's the squared button. It's somewhere over here on your calculator. I have a different calculator. I got TIE3. Okay, so that's going to be 56.52. And now we're going to add 56.52 to 54, and we get 110.52, and that's going to be in meters squared. Okay, so now if you would turn to the you-do, and if you would do number 5. All right, almost done, folks, and you guys are going to be experts at this. Okay, this actually, just to let you folks know, this is actually a trapezoid, and there is the formula for the area of a trapezoid, and I'll just write that down just in case you want to know it. It is 1/2 the height, and then in parentheses we add the 2 parallel bases. Okay, now me, if you don't remember that, you don't have to, because if you put an imaginary dotted line right down through here, you actually turn this into 2 shapes. This looks like a right triangle, so that's going to be a triangle. And then this looks like a square, and we can check that, because if the whole thing is 22, and I subtract this portion here, subtract 10, then I get 12 here. So it is a square, and this is a triangle. And so let's just do that. Square added to triangle. Area for the square is going to be 12 times 12. 1/2. The base of the triangle is 10. The height of the triangle is 12. Okay. And feel free to put this in your calculator if you like. 12 times 12 is 144. Let's see, that's going to be 6 times 10 is 60. Looks like 204. And that's going to be inches squared. Okay. All right, so now on the you-do sheet, if you go all the way back up here to number 1, if you'll do that one. Okay. All right, here we have a semicircle, and we have a square. Okay, my square is going to be 14, and this is going to be 14. Why? Well, this is the diameter of this circle. The radius of the circle is 7, and we know the diameter is twice that. So that's why I knew this was a square. So it's going to be 14 times 14. Semicircle, 3.14. The radius is 7 squared, and it's only a half a circle. So we're going to divide by 2. We got 14 times 14. So that's going to be 196. Mm-hmm. 3.14 times 7 squared. Divide by 2. And we're going to add the 2 together. We get 272.93, almost 273, and the units are going to be meters squared. Okay, and now if you go to the you-do sheet, you'll see number 9 is just like it. Alright, now back to our last problem on the we do sheet. So this one kind of looks like a strange little composite figure, but we've got a triangle and a semicircle. Okay. So the triangle is 1/2 the base, and notice that the base of the triangle actually starts at the circle center and goes to the edge, so the base here is 5. The height is 11. For the semicircle, we've got 3.14. The radius is 5, so it's going to be 5 squared, and we're going to divide that by 2. Running out of room over here. Okay, so we've got 5 times 11 should be 55. We're going to divide that by 2, so we get 27.5. Now we've got 3.14 times 5 squared. We're going to divide that by 2, and we get 39.25. We're going to add these two things together, and we get 66.75. And what units are those going to be? Yards squared. All right, and now you should be down to your last problem that you do on your own, and that'd be number 4. Hope you folks have a great weekend.